I don't know if this right here is a fake virtue signal or if it's playing the victim, but either way, though, somebody obviously decided to leave the country, and now they have created a situation that, quite frankly, just makes the entire thing seem a little bit more embarrassing than what it already is. Quick, before we talk about this entire situation with CNN being put on blast and Dylan Mulvaney apparently leaving the country, I want you to know right now, this right here is the only planned video for tomorrow. It will be a little bit longer in length because we have a few things to go through in here, but just want you to know right now, this right here will probably be the only upload for tomorrow. With that right there being said, let's get into
to get to know yourself better. But I came here to feel something. You know what I mean? And I definitely have. I've done shaman ceremonies that were like 10 years worth of therapy. It was wild. I've seen a lot of llamas, and the people here are so kind. I feel very safe here. It's a little sad that I had to leave my country to feel safe, but that will get better eventually. And I am dying for some Trader Joe's rolled chili lime chips. But other than that, I am so content. Still haven't been kissed yet, but I'm holding out hope.
Nashville. We even talked to a bar in Chicago. One bar was telling us basically they're not going to serve it because they don't like the way Dylan Mulvaney was treated after this whole controversy started. He, of course, is the transgender person they were going to sponsor and go along with Bud Light. They didn't like how Bud Light didn't stand by him after all this.
Something to do with sports. And I'm not sure exactly which sport, but either way, it's a cause to celebrate.
Yes, that right there would be Dylan Mulvaney. Apparently, he went to South America. Of course, this was during the whole ordeal with Bud Light, basically, not really stepping up for him enough, even though they pretty much did that from the very start when they decided to use him for ads. Now, guys, I promised myself that I would not cover this story again. I promised you guys that I would try not to cover this story again. For the most part, I thought this entire thing was dead. The point was actually already been made. But when you have the radical left making fun of schooling and quite frankly going after one of their own networks, that right there being CNN, it's just too rich to not talk about it. But don't worry, we'll get to it in a second. So Bud Light, they have now fallen to 14th amongst beer brands at this moment in time. So here we are once again talking about a company that decided to go woke to get some additional cash, which quite frankly, as I said before, this entire cash grab would not go unnoticed, even though Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch thought that it would. And of course, I've made my statement pretty clear on this that Anheuser-Busch should have just went ahead and issued a statement, an apology, an actual commercial ad, whatever, telling us exactly what happened and that the situation would never occur. And of course, people would just simply make fun of them and say, look, Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch, they went through this entire stage where they were practically gay at one point in time and they were less masculine than White Claw. But now that White Claw was the much more masculine brand than Bud Light, here we are once again having this conversation. But it brings us back to Dylan. You see, a lot of people out there are reacting and responding to this as if to say that Dylan is upset, Dylan is crying, Dylan is he hurt his feelings, this, that, and the other. And guess what? That would actually be correct. This right here, in my personal opinion, you guys can say whatever you want, is nothing more than an attempt to try to get people on Dylan Mulvaney's side and to try to use that against Bud Light, because obviously Bud Light now is getting attacked by both conservatives and liberals, of course, that right there being the woke crowd that is okay with the agenda that's coming after our kids, and not just the whole trans agenda, but also the fact that they were trying to market beer to small children, because Dylan's audience, for the most part, is an audience designed for children, because obviously he aims for children, because the sick, twisted dude is going after our kids. But still, though, at the same time, though, we have to look at exactly what happened here with CNN, because them getting completely roasted by their own is just too rich to pass up.
Light boycott. Sales dropped by more than 28% over the last 4 weeks. It follows a backlash after the brand partnered with a transgender influencer, and now Bud Light is getting more pushback, this time from the LGBTQ community as well. Let's get to Brian Young. He's following all this. Ryan, this seems to be the controversy that just won't quit. What now?
Yeah, we are talking a lot these days, it seems like, about culture wars. I mean, just that last conversation you and Sarah were having kind of ducktails all into this, because everyone seems to be taking sides over everything. And it really got to the point where we went out to the streets to talk to people just to get their ideas about how much confusion and how much anger has been caused by this Bud Light controversy. Just listen to the people on the street who were sort of upset that this has gotten taken so far out of hand.
It's quite simple. People just don't want it shoved down their throat.
No Bud Light, because it's like, I have grandchildren. We don't need to put that in the young kids' heads.
We had one guy who said, I refuse to drink that anymore. One guy. And everybody else in the bar kind of rolled their eyes at him.
Yeah, America's really split on a lot of topics, whether it comes to voting, but this Bud Light really seems to send a chasm right down the middle in terms of talking to folks. We went to Nashville. We even talked to a bar in Chicago. One bar was telling us basically they're not going to serve it because they don't like the way Dylan Mulvaney was treated after this whole controversy started. He, of course, is the transgender person they were going to sponsor and go along with Bud Light. They didn't like how Bud Light didn't stand by him after all this. Of course, you have Kid Rock, who said that he would not serve Bud Light in his bar. He shot up a case of Bud Light. At this point, though, Kate, we went back to that bar a couple days ago. Bud Light's being served again. But now we're starting to see those sales have really dropped off more than 28%.
Ryan, it's really interesting and great that you got the temperature from people you're talking to. It's one of
the culture war.
It's something.
It's the culture wars.
It's a tough time.
Yeah, it is.
Tough time.
Ryan Young, it was a great story. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Guys, you're probably saying to yourself, why in the world did CNN get completely roasted over this? Well, they got roasted over this because they misgendered Dylan. That's right. And then eventually they would have to do an apology. Check it out.
Before we wrap up today, we do want to make an important note. Yesterday, in a segment about transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney, who was featured in Bud Light's recent campaign, she was mistakenly referred to by the wrong pronoun. And CNN aims to honor individuals' ways of identifying themselves, and we apologize for that error.
Eventually, they're getting hit by both sides. You know, you're getting hit by the left, you're getting hit by the right, you're getting slapped by both ends, you're getting backhands from both, all that type of stuff there. Look, the wokesters on the left, you're never going to be able to please these people. It's just who the hell it is. It's just who they are. It's their nature. They are, in fact, extremely unhappy people. I mean, there are several articles, several studies showing you that liberals tend to experience a much lower, they tend to experience a lot less happiness. They also typically tend to be less attractive, and they also tend to have mental disorders a lot more than normal. So you can go ahead and say right now that you were never, ever under any circumstances were you ever going to please these people, not to mention the fact they more than likely don't drink Bud Light anyways, so why in the hell would you try to market them? When it comes to conservatives, I gotta say this over and over again, the last thing we want to deal with is politics or some type of social agenda being thrown in our face, okay? It doesn't matter what it is. And we also don't want this guy right here who tries to market himself to children, we don't want this person used. So it shouldn't surprise anybody that conservatives, working class, and this right even includes working class Democrats who, for whatever reason, vote Democrat but claim to be patriotic. It doesn't surprise me that these people put the product down, said, screw you, you no longer represent me as a person, you no longer represent my values. I thought Anheuser-Busch actually stood for this nation. Now, before we talk about CNN's apology, which, by the way, doesn't really surprise me that they were forced to do that, the far left, they now think that CNN is right-wing. They've been bashing CNN for a while. After the Trump town hall, it was probably at its absolute worst. It's most, how do I say it's thickest, it's most rich, because obviously he went up there and completely embarrassed Caitlin Collins. Don't worry. I'm probably going to have a video out on attraction here soon, talking about how it is that the left just kind of brings women down, because I saw something very interesting this morning on the topic. But with that right there out of the way, let's get back on topic. So why is CNN in this case? Well, CNN is rather incompetent. Maybe if CNN would have just simply, I don't know, just reported the story, not said anything, it would have been forgiven after a while. It's as I said about Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light, who, like I said before, is now the 14th on the list when it comes to beer drinkers. Now everybody actually wants to buy their product. All you had to do was just simply issue an apology. Say, look, we apologize for using this person. We apologize for, I don't know, trying to run an agenda on you guys. That's all you had to do was come on out and apologize. But like I said, here we are. This company is losing billions of dollars, a lot like the way Target is also losing billions of dollars. The exact same way that Starbucks also took a bit of a dip. The exact same way that Ben & Jerry's is already starting to lose money as well. I don't know if you guys are kind of picking up on a pattern here or not, but it doesn't exactly pay right now to be woke. You see, as I've said before, this entire thing was a great big giant scam. It was a gimmick to try to get 4 or 5% of the country's population to get on board with their brand, but instead what they did was they completely pissed off the other 95. Or maybe they really just pissed off about 45 to 55, but still though the largest consumers, the largest buyers of their actual product. As I've said before, Bud Light's main target customer base is working class males. Anheuser-Busch's main target is working class males, which, by the way, the CEO is still going on about the whole, how do I say this? Oh, you guys, y'all need to stop the boycott because you're costing us workers. You're not thinking about the workers, and I've made this pretty clear. I feel bad for those who work for this company, especially those who work in the bottling agencies and those who actually bottle the beer and put the beer on the shelf. I really truly feel bad for these people because when they walk inside of a grocery store and people are just kind of looking at them, which this doesn't always happen in every single case. Some people, just especially if you're working there, you may want to kind of keep to yourself and not do like you normally do. I don't know if you guys notice or not, but some of these small town stockers, especially those who work for Anheuser-Busch or those who work for the sister companies that actually deliver the product, they got to go inside these grocery stores and they got to actually pull the product off, put it on the shelf, and they may even run to the same people every day. Yes, there are people who go to the grocery store every single day at roughly the same amount of time, at the exact same amount of time of the day. Anheuser-Busch was obviously not thinking about this, and they obviously did not put their employees first when they did this. You can't blame people for saying, no, I don't want to drink your product anymore because of what your product now stands for. You guys put these workers at risk when you actually first showcased Dylan to begin with. Quite frankly, I don't want to hear it. I don't think anybody else wants to hear it. Yes, it does suck, and it is a bad situation, especially for the workers, but you guys did that to these workers. You guys put these workers in this situation. Okay, I'm pretty sure that a lot of the workers may be able to BS with somebody saying, obviously, a bad situation, I don't like what I'm doing here. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of these workers probably want to get away from Anheuser-Busch at this moment in time, but due to this extremely bad economy, where some companies are not exactly giving out more than 12 hours a week, which, by the way, is the true myth about the unemployment rate, that a lot of people are taking on second jobs to try to make ends meet, but even between two jobs, they're not getting 40 hours a week or the hours that they need to cover the price of everything that, quite frankly, has gone up. That including gas, of course, and, of course, including food. So, yeah, Anheuser-Busch, you guys did it to yourselves. All you had to do was come out and issue an apology, as I've said before. All you had to do was say, look, we're sorry about this. We will never, ever, ever use this person again. And, of course, their CEO could not say that he would not use Dylan, or did he say he ever would? What you should have done was you should have just come on out and said, look, man, this right here was a mistake. This was a marketing mistake. It was a bad idea. Obviously, we got some bad advice. The people who gave this advice, we're not going to mention by name, but they are now fired. You ain't got to slam them by name. Of course, you would still make people feel good if you admitted that you had a bunch of idiots working there, especially a bunch of wokesters. If you'd have done that, you might have actually gotten out of this situation and you wouldn't be giving away discount and free beer. And also, to go on top of that, you wouldn't be losing billions of dollars at this moment in time. Which points me to Dylan, and this right here is where I'm going to try to go ahead and end this video at. Okay, guys. There have been a lot of people who believe that Dylan Mulvaney is practically pulling an Andy Kaufman. This entire thing is a great big giant gimmick, but even if it is a gimmick and gimmick alone, then why in the world is it that this person got invited to the White House? Why in the world is it that this person got Biden to basically go ahead and say that he was okay with what's going on in these hospitals, what they're trying to do to these kids, what they're trying to do to our kids? Why in the world is this guy trying to market this stuff to somebody below the age of 18? As I said before, his videos are designed for kids, according to him, which, by the way, is still very, very sick and twisted and disgusting, but still at the same time, and I also have to say something else, too. What parent allows their child to watch this person? Especially given all the other craziness this person has done. The dancing, the bouncing, all that type of stuff there. The fact that he was out there saying that he could steal some girl's husband. And then I understand it was obviously done for comedy, but still at the same time, though, this is not exactly what should be distributed to kids. I mean, I just did a video, a couple of days ago on the whole Baldur's Gate 3 bear fornication, man, I got to say it in a very, very weird way. So that way the video won't get the yellow dollar sign, but still at the same time, though, this is obviously something, quite frankly, that is in fact a problem. And I think that people have had enough of it, hence the reason why they stood up and decided to stand against Anheuser-Busch for going woke. Here's the thing about Anheuser-Busch, and I'll say it one more time. Anheuser-Busch at one point in time was in fact a great company. It was a pro-veteran company. It was a pro-America company. I understood that they had the Bud Light side of it was designed to be the more party side. And of course, Budweiser was supposed to be the more patriotic, more working class side. But still at the same time, though, yeah, you guys really and truly lost your way. Like I said before, I had to bring up the whole story about the whole Salute the Heroes thing where you got a discount for going to Busch Gardens, but still at the same time, this company had completely lost its way, and they proved that with Dylan Mulvaney. But as I've always said before, Anheuser-Busch losing their way probably really started, or we should have seen that, when they've got Seth Rogen in ads, the same guy who blasted Chris Kyle's memory after Chris Kyle had died. When you have Amy Schumer, the niece of Chuck Schumer, an extremely horrible comedian. I have no idea why the hell she's even referred to as a comedian. She's not funny at all. She never has been funny. And they started doing this virtue thing, like back at the Super Bowl when they had that ad about the whole women's pay crap. We probably should have seen that a long time ago. By the way, it wasn't just the women's pay. It was the fact that we're also talking about gay marriage and going to a gay couple's marriage. We should have seen that a long time ago. So really and truly, nobody is surprised about this. Hopefully, I will never cover this story again. And don't think for a second that I'm covering this story for views, even though I am a content creator and this is what I do. But the last few videos on Dylan Mulvaney have not done well. Okay, maybe it's YouTube. Maybe it's... maybe people are tired of hearing about it. Obviously, I'm tired of talking about it, but that's not what the hell is going on here. Obviously, this is what I do. I talk about this type of stuff. I do bring it up, and it is hilarious to see how it is that one person could completely destroy a major conglomerate, a major company. Guys, John Claymore here. If you like this content, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. If you feel that I've earned your subscription, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the notifications bell. Also, leave a comment in the comment section. Share this video. Share it with your friends. Also, something else too, you guys can follow me on Facebook. All you got to do is just type in John Claymore. And, of course, you will see my page pop on up. And I will see you guys later.